Oh, hey, welcome back. I'm Jason. Today, we're not in the shop. Today, what I've got for you is my 2-year review on my favorite truck accessory, this hard bed cover. Let's get into it. All right, so what are we talking about here? My favorite accessory, the tonneau cover. Well, this one's got a really long name. It's a Leer Pace Edwards UltraGroove metal retractable hard tonneau cover in aluminum matte black. That's a mouthful. But all that being said, I'm gonna jump right to the chase. After having this for 2 years, the very first thing I put on my truck, would I buy it again? You're darn right I would. It has been amazing. So let me cover what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So the first thing that I like is the security aspect of it. The whole thing is metal. It's got each one of these interlocking ribs here are aluminum, and it feels pretty safe. I mean, I can throw whatever I want back there, close the tailgate, and it's in there, and it should be staying there. Second thing I like is the fact that the latch itself here is hidden from view, and there are no mechanisms on the top. That makes it pretty clean, and I think that aids in the security of it. Third thing I like is just how low profile it is. You can see the dimension and profile here is pretty low to the truck, and I think it fits on this 8-foot bed pretty seamlessly. Number 4. This was a pretty big reason for me as I was looking at different tonneau covers for the truck, and that's the available T-slot here in this upper rail. By having this, I can run any number of different ladder racks or bike racks, Thule racks, all sorts of different things up here. I haven't yet. It's been 2 years. I did buy a bunch of T-slot bolts and hardware to make my own, which could be a fun project a little bit later. But having that option versus just a clean flat rail, which would look good but not be very functional, was pretty important in the buying decision. All right, number 5. I would say that this top, for me, has been about 90% watertight. We originally put the tonneau cover on the truck as we were moving. We were going to be traveling in the winter, through the rain, through the snow, through hell on earth, basically. And we had all sorts of our life in the back of the truck. It stayed dry, really dry, actually. If I put a percentage on it, I'd say that the bed itself is about 90% watertight compared to obviously being wide open. Today I took it through the car wash. I live in Phoenix. It's dusty, dirty, and this is a lot of truck to wash. Don't hate me for using the car wash. And yes, water gets in up front because it overloads the canister base, and just a little bit gets in on the back here, but you've got a nice seal at the tailgate and the seal all the way across, and then sealed on the bed itself all the way around. 90%, man, I don't know that you could do much better than that. None of these things are going to be 100% tight, and anything in the field here in the middle stays totally dry. That part's been pretty awesome. Number 6. I'm a big fan of having a lot of different options as far as how I use my tools or use my equipment. And one of the things about this top that was super cool is that every 12 inches, there's a different locking position. And being on an 8-foot bed, I have 7 different locking positions. So if I unlatch it and I push it down, it can go as far as I want, or with the strap, it relatches, and each one of those points is a different stop. So when I go get 10 foot, 12 foot, 14 foot lumber, I can throw it down at an angle up on top of my tailgate, and I can have the top locked in position right there, or in any one of those 7 different locking positions. And that really leads itself to a lot of options. We can roll with something big in the middle of the bed, like a 5th wheel, which has been really nice. So we were able to lock this just ahead of the 5th wheel and store gear underneath it. Or you can push it all the way back or anywhere in between. And really, the sky's the limit at that point. Options are great, aren't they? There has to be something, or many things, that I don't like about this tonneau cover, right? Well, the first one is probably pretty obvious to most people that are researching either rollbacks, flip ups, soft covers and whatnot, and that's the actual storage of the cover. And you can see with it all the way closed, or open, all the way open, the canister does take up some space. I can drop the numbers up here on screen and you see the actual dimensions for this top. And that really hasn't been a big deal until I tried to throw a set of dirt bikes back here, and this canister, this cover's plastic. So I was kind of in a bind. I didn't want to put the dirt bikes in backwards up against the tailgate. I wanted somewhere for them to mount. So what I wound up doing is bending up some steel. I've got some 1 3/4 DOM here, and I made flange plates up against the back wall of the bed. So now I can bring the dirt bikes clean in up to here, or we can throw our bicycles on here, go mountain biking, and it protects the cover. Conversely, anything else that I throw in the back of the truck here bumps up against here instead of the cover. Down underneath, I do have quite a bit of space, so I keep a spare jack, compressor, and tie downs. All right, so the second thing that I don't like about this, we kind of found out through use. And you figure things out oftentimes that way, is it's not terrible to open and to get it to roll up. There is an assist spring in here. And I looked through the instructions. I don't see any ways of adjusting it. I haven't honestly played with it, but really it's closing it that's quite difficult. I'm 6'1", not small, and I can close it, but the tension on here for my wife, for my kids, it's tough. All right, so number 3, this one's kind of a wash. You could call it a pro, you could call it a con. It's really more of an inconvenience. And when you look at other tops on the market that are fairly secure like this, some of them have locks and or latches on the top. And as you can see, totally smooth. The only way to open this is by opening the tailgate and getting in there, which is great, honestly, for security, right? But when you've got a fifth wheel behind you, or you are towing a trailer, or I don't know, anything is behind you, you've backed up against another car, it's difficult to get in here because the truck is so darn tall. So you have to reach up and over to get in there. Again, this one's a wash. Take it for what it is for you, right? Number 4, while we're back here, are the seals at the end. I mentioned that I'm in Phoenix and the sun, it's hot, right? So it has degraded these seals and they're starting to fall apart. I haven't seen any water ingress because of it, but it does kind of look like poo. I'll see if I can get a set of seals from Leer at some point, maybe. Number 5, and honestly, this one's another wash. It really depends on how you're gonna use your truck. My last truck, I had a big steel rack, so when I'm going to buy roll bar tubing at 20-foot lengths, or if I'm doing any other wood projects that require something greater than, say, 12 feet that I can have sticking out of the bed of the truck, having a rack on the top, like a heavy-duty rack that fits in the stake pockets, would be pretty swell. And this cover covers the stake pockets almost entirely. The back one here, you can kind of see the corner, but you're not going to be able to put a rack on here other than one of the T-Track slot racks that just aren't going to be as heavy-duty as you might want. My last steel order was, I don't know, 1,100 pounds. I don't think I'd want to throw that on a Thule rack. So in my case, I have to use my trailer. I'm fortunate to have that though. In your case, it might just be the inconvenience that stops you from getting a rack like this, or not a rack, but a cover like this versus one of the folding ones or easily removable ones. All right, so what about a little bit of history here? Why did I pick the Leer over the Retrax or any one of the other different rolling covers that I had the option to buy? Well, it was a really simple reason actually. I bought this 2 years ago during the height of the pandemic. It's the only one that I could find. I got it through e-trailer, delivered to my doorstep. That was all great, super easy. And like I said earlier, I'm actually glad I bought it, and I would buy this one again. 2 years ago, almost to the date, in January, I paid $1,954 for it, plus tax and everything. Today, they're about $2,300. Thanks, inflation. So what about installation? Well, the installation was pretty simple. It has the latches on the side. There's no drilling, no tapping, no cutting of the bed, and you tighten it down, get it locked in there. It's a little wonky because with the 8-foot bed, you've got these big long rails and the canister's a little larger, so it's a bit heavier. But it wasn't so bad. My kids helped me, and at the time they were 9 and 11. Pretty simple. I think you can handle it. Hey, look, if this video gave you a little bit of insight into this cover and to maybe other covers or ways that you might use your own, Do me a favor and hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm really close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, and my mind is just blown that anybody is even watching me. I'm just some goofball in his garage. I mean, today I was outside. That's fun. But hey, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and it's really helping to motivate me to keep going. Hit one of these videos up in the top corners. See another video about cars, houses, things like that. Anyhow, again, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.